definitive answer to the yawning emptiness inside her. But I suspected none of this then. After sitting on the sofa and putting my face in my hands, after rubbing my eyes and avoiding Aman's gaze for as long as possible, I knew I would have to weep again. But not now. Not at this moment, while Brilka was watching old New Europe slipping past her outside the train window and smiling for the first time since her arrival on this continent of indifference. I don't know what she saw that made her smile as she left the city of miniature bridges, but that doesn't matter anymore. The main thing is she was smiling. At that moment, I was thinking that I would have to weep. In order not to, I turned, went into the bedroom, and lay down. I didn't have to wait long for Aman. Grief like his is very quickly healed if you offer to heal it with your body, especially when the patient is 28 years old. I kissed myself out of my enchanted sleep. As Aman laid his head on my belly, my 12-year-old niece was leaving the Netherlands, crossing the German border in her compartment that stank of beer and loneliness, while several hundred kilometers away, her unsuspecting aunt feigned love with a 28-year-old shadow. All the way across Germany she traveled, in the hope it would get her somewhere. After Aman fell asleep, I got up, went to the bathroom, sat on the edge of the bath, and started to cry. I wept a century's worth of tears over the feigning of love, the longing to believe in words that once defined my life. I went into the kitchen, smoked a cigarette, stared out of the window. It had stopped raining, and somehow I knew that it was happening. Something had been set in motion, something beyond this apartment, with the high ceilings and the orphaned books, with the many lamps I had collected so eagerly, a substitute for the sky, an illusion of true light. Perhaps it should be mentioned that Brilka was a very tall girl, almost 2 heads taller than me, which, at my height, isn't that difficult. That she had buzz-cut hair and John Lennon glasses, was wearing old jeans and a lumberjack shirt, had perfectly round cocoa bean eyes that were constantly searching for stars, and an immensely high forehead that concealed a great deal of sorrow. She had just run away from her dance troupe, which was performing in Amsterdam. She danced the male roles because she was too extravagant, too tall, too melancholy for the gentle, folkloristic women's dances of our homeland. After much pleading, she was finally allowed to perform dressed as a man and dance the wild dances. Her long plait had fallen victim to this concession the previous year. She was allowed to do leaps and defense, and was always better at these than at the female dancers' wave-like, dreamy movements. She danced and danced with a passion, and after being given a solo for the Dutch audience, because she was so good, so much better than the young men who had sneered at her in the beginning, she left the troupe in search of answers that dancing, too, was unable to give her. The following evening, I received a call from my mother, who was always threatening to die if I didn't return soon to the homeland I had fled all those years ago. Her voice trembled as she informed me that the child had disappeared. It took me a while to work out which child she was talking about, and what it all had to do with me. So tell me again, where exactly was she? In Amsterdam! For goodness sake, what's the matter with you? Aren't you listening to me? She ran away yesterday and left a message. I got a call from the group leader. They've looked everywhere for her and— Wait. How can an 11-year-old girl disappear from a hotel? Especially if she's 12. She turned 12 in November. You forgot, of course, but that was only to be expected. I took a deep drag on my cigarette and prepared myself for the impending disaster. Because if my mother's voice was anything to go by, it would be no easy matter just to wash my hands of this and disappear. My favorite pastime in recent years. I armed myself for the obligatory reproaches, all of them intended to make clear to me what a bad daughter and failed human being I was. Things I was only too well aware of without my mother's intervention. Okay, she turned 12 and I forgot, but that won't get us anywhere right now. Have they informed the police? Yes, what do you think? They're looking for her.